The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Fatello, the best AI editing platform. Snap, upload, and deliver at fatello.co. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. And Mark Corcoran, he's out co-founding on his own right now, not hanging with me. Molly Peart's here though, off camera, off mic. And this, of course, is a Road to PMRE episode. PMRE, it's kind of coming up, but registration begins today, May 19th. Early bird goes live this afternoon. Get in there. There's only 100 early bird tickets this year, so I know they're going to sell out fast. So make sure you get in there this afternoon. If you're listening to this on the morning of the 19th, if you're listening to it after, tough shit. You're out of luck. But you can still get a full price ticket, and I heartily endorse it. It's November 17th through 19th at the Palms Resort Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Get in there, get your ticket, get your flight going, and get those and get the reduced room rate at the Palms as soon as possible. Implore everyone to stay at the Palms. It is really the best way to experience PMRE. And of course, once again, we are doing the tour to PMRE with iGuide in conjunction with iGuide, because they are our special sponsor for this series of shows. So check it out. Go to goiguide.com/PMRE and you can enter to win one of three. I cannot believe this. We're not putting up the cash for this. Come on, let's shout it out to iGuide. They are sending 3 lucky winners on an all expenses paid trip to PMRE this year. So there's going to be 3 drawings. I think 1 in June, 1 in July, 1 in August, something like that. It's immaterial. Just get in there right now. Go to goiguide.com/PMRE. And then all you have to do is enter your email address there. And then you're just going to go to Instagram and you're going to follow Upmarket Pod and you're going to follow go_iGuide. Go_iGuide. So it's goiguide.com/PMRE, not go_iGuide.com. You can figure it out. Just Google iGuide, throw PMRE. Our listeners are very smart. So I'm excited for PMRE this year. So I'm going to do something very dramatic right now, because what we're doing on this show today is we are revealing the host of PMRE 2026. And this is one of the most important jobs there, because this person is going to be on stage basically every day, all along. I don't know who it is. So we're going to bring them on remotely. They're not in the studio as far as I know. Unless someone is hiding in the other room there. So I'm going to blindfold and then we're going to reveal who the host is. So, okay, I'm blindfolding. Oh, I cannot see now. If you're seeing this on video, I tied the thing. I can't see. Okay, Molly, can you, okay, I got to find the mic. Molly, can you tell me when the person is on screen and I can be revealed, or they can be revealed? We're ready? Okay, it's time to reveal. Okay, I'm so excited for this. It's Matt Anderson again?
Yeah, kind of the reaction Molly, I was expecting.
I thought this was going to be my year. I literally thought you were going to have a mirror and it was going to be me. I've been wanting this job for so long, and this guy gets it again. I mean, he did a passable job last year on day 2, but I'm just not sure this is the best choice. Matt,
hey Reed, I can
why
hear
did you
you,
even?
right?
Why I do know that, but why did you even accept this? I mean, you knew it was the thing I wanted, and then you accepted it.
Well, the problem was, I proposed a duet style hosting with you and me, and that was just shot down immediately. So.
One of the things I actually love about you hosting is we can make fun of you so much and you just roll with it. So that's my favorite thing about you hosting.
Which happened a lot last year.
It did. I remember we all got up and asked you some, very pointed questions about how, and basically told you how terrible you are the whole time. So in reality, of course, I am super excited to have Matt back as host. I think everyone agreed that you did better than passable. You did an amazing job last year. And I think anyone else who has aspirations to host PMRE is going to probably have to take a back seat for years and years and years, because you might have the job locked up for a while.
That's why I keep paying Brandon. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no wonder, because my price is pretty high, actually. So so
no, I'm paying him.
Right. You're technically a sponsor. This is great. What was your experience like doing it last year? And then, I presume you're excited to come back. Why are you excited to come back this year?
Yeah, because just the feedback was amazing last year, and it was just such a blast. I was expecting it to be like a chaotic, fun whirlwind, and it was more than that, which all in a good way. It was an absolute blast. It was chaotic. I mean, some of it, as far as the hosting side, we planned out before. Some of it I made up the day of.
I remember you were pitching jokes to me, backstage.
No, and then the day two, open questions from the audience. Yeah. I wrote that the evening before, because I had put all my eggs into the day one basket, and I kid you not, this is how much of an idiot I am. I'm laying there at night in bed, about to go to sleep, and I go, I don't have anything for day 2 or 3. Holy crap!
Did you not understand the scope of the job before you came to Las Vegas?
Oh, 3-day event. What he meant was 3-day event. Got it. I was so there's nerves, but like, you just want to make that good first impression. So I planned so much for day 1. Yeah. When day 2 rolled around, I was like, cool, got it done. Oh crap.
Yeah. And then, but I thought you had some good ideas, enlisted people to help with the bits. So, that's good. And what I like, I like it when there's bits, when there's actually and your comedic chops are fair. So, I mean, you can pull it off.
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's taking insults from my friends. Well, that was here's my favorite part. And so for people who are completely clueless, day 2, I started day 2 with basically the premise that I'm jealous that the speakers get to have a Q&A, but as the MC, I'm there for 3 days and I don't get a chance to do that. So I want to open up to the audience. You guys are more than welcome to ask me questions.
Right.
Immediately, like no hesitation, it was like 8 people get up. And including yourself.
We were all prompted, though. I mean, yes.
So, and I tried to ramp up the questions, and of course, Andrew was the first one, and I can't remember exactly what his question was, but it was a passive aggressive, comedy roast type of insult. And if you watch the clip, it's somewhere on Instagram. Somebody from what I assume is New Jersey in the back goes, "Oh." And all the questions towards me were just insults about mediocre photography skills, my my hair being a wig, like having a fragile ego, all this sort of stuff. So,
well, no, and I do believe actually that reel is on our Upmarket Pod Instagram. Oh yeah, so back in November. So
here's the beauty of it is, so I wrote those questions the night before, and I handed them out like cards to people I was new friends. And the cherry on top was many of them embellished and took their own liberties with those insults. Oh yeah, you included.
Yes, yeah. I added in a hair gel addiction.
That's it. So, which was just absolutely beautiful. And then the tough part on my side was keeping a straight face the whole time and acting like I was surprised by each one of these questions.
Right. I think people got the bit pretty quickly, but I think everyone was
not
still,
everyone though. There was still some people afterwards were hanging out going, Matthew, I have to ask you, was that planned? Because those questions seem really mean. Like, yes, it was planned.
It was planned. Oh, yeah. Well, and the other thing is, so if you are going down memory lane, and I think hopefully if you're on the fence about PMRE this year, please do go back on our Instagram and check out all the fun we had. And I know you guys, you collabed with Nikki, who we had out there as well, on some really, really fun videos. There's the one of you guys dancing in the PMRE hallway. Yeah, it's so fun. And so I think you can really get a sense, this last year, I think there was so much fun social content that really got the vibe of what it is like to be at PMRE out there. So if you are on the fence, go back, look at that stuff. And I think you're going to want to join the party for sure. And so what are you looking forward to this year? And I mean, I know the agenda is not really out. Not all the speakers have been announced, but I mean, I know you've been talking to Brandon Cooper. Yeah. I think, well, I know they will be probably that is the problem is like you did a good job last year. If you don't do better this year, it's going to be a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, that's it. I'm looking forward to, I don't know, man. I know it sounds cheesy. You hear people talking about this all the time in any type of event like this, but the community side, it's very hard to describe unless you're there. So just, again, it's probably been mentioned a million times. Even if you have a team, you operate as islands a lot. So the ability to see people in person and just hang out, you can talk shop if you want, you can joke around, have a few drinks, go out to eat. And obviously the amazing speaker lineup and just it's information overload and it's fun overload too. It's just so for personally, I'm very much an extrovert. So just the absolute imagine that. Just the absolute chaos of 3 whirlwind days and seeing everybody, having some laughs, entertaining people, making fun of myself. It's just collectively all of that is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I really do want to stress, and what's what we're going to talk about, I'm sure, for whatever the 13 more episodes of PMRE that we're going to do leading up to November is really the community aspect, and I think that's without a doubt the best part about it. And here's the thing, PMRE, like if you just go and it's the speakers and the events and just the vibe of the thing, it's fantastic, right? Like it is worth every single penny you spend on it. But it pales in comparison to actually what happens around it with the connections that you make and the conversations that you have. And I think every single person comes out of it feeling like, oh yeah, God, PMRE was great, but it was really all these people I met. It was really how I don't feel alone anymore, how I now have friends all over the country, all over North America, all over the world, who do the same thing I do, who understand what I'm going through, who I can lean on when I'm feeling down, who I can hold them up when they're feeling down. And we always have solutions for each other. We always have advice and, or just an ear to listen to listen to you. And that's so incredibly powerful, especially in our industry where, still so many people are just out there grinding so hard and just in their car all the time and just hanging out with realtors and, and just trying to run the admin side of their business. So, and I know, Mark and I were together and, still, and we have a team, but sometimes, we can feel isolated and we even have each other to lean on. So it's super, super, super important.
Yeah. I mean, I know even within the PMRE attendees, they even have created kind of their own little mastermind groups where they create text groups where they're keeping in contact with each other.
Absolutely.
A lot of it's, joking around and busting each other's chops, but hey guys, I ran into this scenario. What do you think I should do? I mean, and then that continues on for weeks, months down the road, and then they get to see each other again the next year at PMRE. So again, the connections you make are invaluable for sure. Well,
and I think, one thing I do want to point out too is I think real estate photographers can get branded as kind of a toxic bunch. And I think, the Facebook groups, I feel like have actually toned down a bit over the last year or two, but I think there's just been this mindset of like, if I ask a question, I'm going to get pounced on by all these, surly assholes on Facebook and who are just going to make fun of me. And
which I'm glad you eased off the throttle on that, Reed.
yeah, exactly. And trust me, some of those surly assholes will be at PMRE, but then when you actually talk to them in real life, they're not surly assholes. They're actually nice. And so, but it is it's an environment where you don't need to be afraid to ask questions that might be obvious to other people because everyone is there to help. Everyone is there to learn. So it's a really inclusive, welcoming, warm environment. And if you can just like open your heart, you'll find so many open hearts that are going to come right back to you. So, it's really the vibe just couldn't be more different than it is like in the Facebook groups.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's very hard to describe to someone who hasn't been there, but once you've attended, you get it.
Yeah. Well, I would say, you've been a couple. So you were host last year. You attended the year before just as an attendee. I mean,
no, I spoke the year before that.
Oh, that's right. You spoke. Okay,
Yeah.
so this will be your fourth one. That's right. Yes, right. You were on stage. That was very forgettable. Your presentation on stage. So
I did shadow puppets for 45 minutes straight, and come time for Q&A, not one question. So
yeah,
really disappointing.
No, it was so yeah, this is your fourth one, but I know when you did present on stage, it was really, it was kind of, there was a dedicated day 3 that first year. It was 3 days.
Yes.
Of the day 3 is kind of the transition to more architecture and design photo stuff. And you were kind of the bridge speaker for that because you've done a lot of real estate photography, but your primary focus is architecture, design stuff, right?
Correct.
As of now. And so I think coming even into PMRE with that mindset of what your business is, have you still found it beneficial, and how have you found it beneficial for your business?
Sure. No, I think what's interesting is if you've never been before and you're going to the event looking for speakers talking about camera settings and stuff like that, you're going to be disappointed. That's not what this conference is for. There's a gazillion videos on YouTube about that already. What I've noticed is, as far as the evolution over the years, is more about how to run a business. Questions that, many would be possibly embarrassed to ask, or just definitely they wouldn't ask of a competitor.
Right.
And so, and that's what I've noticed. The evolution is turning more into kind of, how to keep motivating yourself, how to run your business, new technologies that are available, how to utilize those technologies to help your business, how to manage a team. I do think there's video is the one aspect that I think still, not that it's a mystery, but like a lot of maybe real estate media companies who don't have that as part of their offerings want to get into, and they just don't know where to start. So not that they're talking about settings, but video, there's a million ways to, shoot a house with video. And so I really enjoy that. But I think in general, just if you're running any type of business, but especially as it relates to photographing houses, whether you're doing real estate or even architecture and design, there's a lot that's applicable. And that's actually what I liked about last year versus the year before, where they were sort of these exclusive dates, where the first 2 were real estate, the third one was architecture and design. Now it's all mixed up. The lines are honestly getting blurred, and I think it's for the better. So,
for sure,
in general, if you run any type of business and it relates to photographing properties and you're selling those images, selling your service, I think PMRE is a huge, definitely beneficial to attend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Matt, we're talking about community and the community that forms around PMRE, but you're out in Kansas City. Do you have a community of photographers there that you hang out with? Because I think that's one of the things that I find kind of interesting is that, we don't always hang out with our basically who are our local competitors, right? Because
sure.
That's when it can feel like, oh, well, I don't want to tell my trade secrets to these people.
Yeah.
Do you have a community there in Kansas City, or do you just kind of have all your far flung stuff?
Unfortunately, no. There are maybe a couple photographers that I keep in touch with. When it comes to creatives here in Kansas City, and I've known creatives and other type of verticals and things like that. Kansas City's kind of weird. A lot of creatives tend to play things very close to the chest. And again, I'm kind of the happy-go-lucky extrovert, and I have the philosophy of, rising tides raises all ships. But
sure,
a lot of photographers tend to keep it themselves. And unfortunately, I don't really have that. So my community, so to speak, is actually built from events like this, from PMRE. I have a couple group text messages and keep in contact with other photographers. Fraser's one of them. Fraser's kind of a figurehead to PMRE.
Absolutely.
We touch base every few months, just catching up. And what I don't have in person here in Kansas City, I definitely get in person at events like this. And then, like I've mentioned before, through phone calls and text messages afterwards.
Yeah. Well, and I think that is kind of an interesting take, is that actually, I think by nature, I would, and way overgeneralizing here, but a lot of photographers are kind of introverts, right? I don't
Very
think
much
it's
so.
something that, really draws a lot of, I mean, some very extroverted people are photographers, obviously, Kelsey Curtis, but who, and Matt
I can't
Anderson.
put a face with that name. Wow.
Yeah,
if only she made a strong first impression with people.
So you can definitely be on that, on the spectrum of super extroverted, but I think as a general rule, I mean, we can just kind of all agree probably most people are a bit introverted. So this is an opportunity to come out of your introvert shell. And so, so I don't think I had a larger point with that, but for all the introverts out there, just get up, just show up. Us extroverts.
How many awards has this podcast won?
Awards? Oh, this podcast is non-award winning. We have never won any award. Oh no! What am I talking about? We won Best Ad last year at PMRE. Where's
true.
the belt? Why do we not have the belt on
Yeah, you should
on our
have
set?
that on display, man.
We did at one time. I don't know, Molly. What happened to the belt? She's throwing her hands up. She doesn't know.
Yeah. That reminds me of just kind of another point we've talked about, but like at PMRE, there is just constantly things to do. There's never a dull moment. That's the thing. Even when,
unlike this podcast,
which we've had many.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you surprised by the success of this podcast as everyone else? Like, it's just, and the commercials themselves, the commercials are great, but there's also a reason to watch the commercials is for a content. There's just like,
right.
Brandon has put so much thought into almost every single detail. It's
not almost every single
It's a shame
detail.
he put none of it into picking out a host.
Yes, exactly. I mean, and I think you've and we can give Brandon his flowers here a little bit. I know you've worked closely with Brandon. I've worked closely with Brandon. It's hard to imagine that there could be someone who is actually more thoughtful about how they put together an event than Brandon. I mean, he thinks of every single detail. He tries to run it from all possible angles. And he always puts himself in the seat of an attendee and what is the experience going to be like for them? In addition, but he's doing the same thing for his sponsors, for his speakers. He wants to make sure everyone maximizes, he understands that it is it's a lot of money for people and it's a lot of money for the sponsors. And it's like, he takes it so seriously and just wants everyone to have the best possible experience. And you can tell, I mean, it's just like the care that he puts into, and I know as now I consider him a good friend, he does not see this as just a money making operation for him. He really genuinely loves this community, wants to lift up this community, and wants to elevate real estate media as a genre of as a legitimate business. And I think he's probably done as much as anyone in our industry to do that. And so I think, I can never give him enough props. And I think, thank you, Brandon.
Well, I think a lot of, especially if you attended several years in a row, or even, it doesn't have to be consecutive, but as the conference has evolved, most of those changes are based on feedback he's gotten from the attendees. So this is a guy who cares so much about how people feel and experience the conference that he will change it for the better. And even some of the smallest details to the biggest changes. I mean, probably biggest one was adding a third day to the conference. That was a huge gamble. And it clearly paid off. So, I mean, he is almost to a fault so concerned about how people experience the conference. When you go, again, it's a testament to just the amount of time and effort he's put into it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm going to think about the experience of this next break that we're going to take, and then we're going to come back. We're going to experience a social media sidebar, and then we're going to come back. We'll have more talk about something. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about PMRE. Maybe we'll get some hair care tips. And then
banana bread recipes.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to end this. We're going to end this with action items. I know Matt is very prepared with an action item. So he knows actually. The drill. He knows the drill here. I think this is your third appearance on this show.
Yes.
Jeez.
I have clearly overstayed my welcome.
Whew, boy, do I love an easy workflow. And our workflow, now that we have switched our editing to Fotello, is fantastic. We just upload the raw photos or JPEGs, whatever you want. You just upload them right to Fotello. It does this little magic thing. And a few minutes later, you have fully edited, beautiful looking real estate photos that then we can send to our client almost immediately. I mean, it has revolutionized the way we are doing business. I cannot stress enough how convenient Fotello is, how much, we just have our VA input stuff in there. It's super, super, super easy. It's fotello.co. You can even deliver right to your clients from Fotello. There's a whole suite of services that are added on in addition to what they do by editing your photos. And so all you ever pay for is the photo editing, and everything else is included for free. Fotello is where it is at. Check it out. It's fotello.co. If you use the code 50UP, you're going to get 50% off your first month of using Fotello. What a deal. Check it out. Try them. It's fantastic. You're not going to be disappointed. Fotello.co. Oh, we told you all about it already, but let's say it again. iGuide is sending 3 lucky listeners all the way to PMRE, all expenses paid. Go to goiguide.com/PMRE, enter your email address, follow UpmarketPod, follow go_iGuide on Instagram. That's all you need to do to enter to win one of these fantastic trips. And iGuide is going to be out in force again at PMRE. They're all going to be there. They're the most fun crew ever. So I'm excited for you all to meet the iGuide crew, of course. But really, it's about what iGuide brings to the table in terms of their product, because their 3D scanning technology is unmatched. Providing accurate floor plans, accurate measurements, site plans. You have site plans that you can scan an entire property, get a sense of how the property interacts. Realtors are loving site plans. It's a fantastic add-on that you can make more money from. So check it out. Go to goiguide.com and check out all that they have to offer, and goiguide.com/PMRE to get in and win one of these trips. Social media sidebar. We are Upmarket Pod across all social media. That includes TikTok. Molly's out there posting away on TikTok. We're on YouTube Shorts, right, Molly? You've been remembering to post our clips on YouTube Shorts, right? I can tell by the smile on her face that we are not currently posting on YouTube Shorts, but we will be after this. So check us out. Upmarket Pod, wherever you look for social media stuff, we're there. I'm even on LinkedIn personally. You can friend me there. Matt, are you on LinkedIn?
I think I have a LinkedIn profile.
I'm going to friend you right now. I'm going to link. I'm going to link with you right now.
Let's be besties.
No.
Pass.
Where do we find you?
Main social media, Instagram is good. It's my. We'll get through this.
Oh, is that good? Oh, wow. Oh, your Instagram, that's a really good place to find you. Okay, great.
Yeah.
What's the freaking handle?
I was just going to say it. God, give me a minute. Matthew A. Photo. Yeah, pretty much. Everything is Matthew A. Photo. So if you go on YouTube, I think I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, are you still doing that?
Yeah, I'm not able to do it as much as I'd like. I still do everything as far as writing out the scripts, shooting it, editing it, all that sort of stuff.
Have you heard of outsourcing?
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a. It was hard for me to even start outsourcing some of my stills editing. So YouTube stuff is. Plus, I don't know. It just seems weird for me to pay someone to outsource that stuff. Anyway, but that being said, I am actually filming some content tomorrow related to some real estate photography centric gear. I get blitzed a lot by companies reaching out to me going, hey, try this, try this, try this.
Oh, I bet you do.
I won't spoil anything, but Matthew Anderson's going to try real estate photography again tomorrow. So hopefully when that's all said and done, I will post it in 2029. So.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, when's that coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, it'll probably be a while. Yeah. Yeah, so youtube.com, I think /Matthew A Photo. I believe that's the handle.
All right. Okay, good. But I think that like that kind of was more, if I, all joking aside, like your YouTube channel was really, you were really putting a lot into that for a while, right? Like it was kind of a thing. And that's how you were kind of growing your audience and kind of, having that's really how you got like a kind of elevated spot in our industry, right? Is by having kind of a popular YouTube channel.
I wanted my channel to be obviously a resource for a lot of photographers. And I've said this a few times on a couple other interviews, is that I try to create, like as if I had some sort of time capsule, try to create videos that would have helped me a few years back. Okay. So whether it comes to, obviously camera settings, how to use flash, there's that, how to edit. I mean, some of my editing videos get the most views, but I also try to help out on the business side too. You might take the greatest shots in the world, but when it comes to running your business, there's a whole different league of things that you need to figure out. And I think a lot of us figured those out by trial and error. So I tried to, help some other photographers who are fairly fresh to say, hey, learn from my mistakes and, have better contracts, register your, copyright, register your work, just stuff like that. Stuff that I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, I think that's, and that's like, it's so much is about all these things that we don't think about. And really, like almost everything that, we talk about on here, we never talk about composition, or we never talk about, a little bit, we say, oh, we need a little more editorial style because that's what some of our clients are demanding. And that's really the extent of it. But it's like on the business side, there's always just, there's always stuff to learn, always stuff that we're messing up, always stuff that we could do better. And so I think kind of leaning into that is, I don't know, there's so much like creative content out there for, technical, how to do this, how to do that. It's just,
Well, and then for the YouTube stuff too, it's like, not that I've run out of ideas, but like,
it sounds like you have.
It's like, okay, how many videos can I make about writing good contracts, or, how many videos can I put out there about how to edit and stuff? So I guess as I've kind of transitioned or basically done this over time, I start focusing more on the quality of the YouTube videos rather than just pumping out once a week. I know there's probably some secret number to feeding the algorithm beast, but I don't really care. I'd rather make a great one video every month or every couple months than 4 mediocre ones. Right.
Well, it all just depends on your goals with it, right? I think, if you do want to like rise to the top and be like a trending YouTube, that you got to have even probably more than one video a week. So,
you almost have to give up your regular full-time job to do it that much.
Yeah. So, no, I know. I know about it. Trust me, we have a weekly podcast about real estate photography.
I'm preaching to the choir.
So, exactly. It can be
hard.
How hard
it is, man.
We have the hardest life. So I hope all our listeners can pity us and Matt.
Woe is me.
You do want to make sure you're keeping stuff fresh, and which is one of the reasons I actually love doing the Road to PMRE episodes, because that's 15 episodes that we didn't have to, we still have to come up with topics and discussions, but it was like, oh, all the guests are laid out for me. We don't have to figure that out. And so it is kind of nice to have that because, it can be hard to come up with stuff that because I know you feel the same way. It's like we want to make sure that every time we're doing a show, we're giving value to our listeners, and whether it's entertainment
every show?
Or whether it every show, except
including this one.
Including this. Well, we'll see. We'll get the comments from this one.
If this makes it to air, wow.
Yeah. Oh no, we're desperate. It's like I said, it's in the contract.
True.
We just always want to make sure we bring value, and that's really the hardest thing. And I think we do that, and I think let's talk about this in the second half of the show. So all right, let's take another quick break. We'll be right back. We're going to talk more with Matt Anderson, and then he's going to wow us with an action item. How many things can we do with HD Photo Hub? I don't even know. I haven't counted. Because I have trouble counting that high, because there are so many things that we are doing with HD Photo Hub. It's scheduling. It's keeping track of the orders. It's, having an order page for our clients to use. It's delivering the photos. It's invoicing. It's so many different things. And one of the things, invoicing, one of the things I'm loving is the integration with Titus, where you can offer your clients to pay at close, which is what a game changer that is. So if you want to check that out, check that out too. You got to check out the marketing kits. We're talking about the marketing kits all the time. I'm not going to stop talking about the marketing kits, because as soon as you see them, that's all you're going to want to talk about too. It's just marketing kits. And look, we can be selling these things for, I don't know, however much you want. You don't pay very much. You pay $5 extra you pay $5 extra to HD Photo Hub, but then you can sell it for $20, $30, $40, $50. I don't know, whatever your clients will pay. And it's an extra way for you to make money. And it's also the materials that your clients are going to get are going to help them get more business, which then means you're going to get more business. That's how good the marketing kits at HD Photo Hub are. So if you want to get in on it, go to hdphotohub.com, use the code UPMARKET15, and you are going to get 15 free full deliveries. That is a fantastic value from our friends at hdphotohub.com. I thought 2026 was going to be the year of the floor plan, but then I realized, you know what? I don't think it is, because that was probably 2025, maybe 2024. But I think what I've really decided is that this is the decade of the floor plan. The 20s are going to be officially recognized as the decade of the floor plan. And we, of course, know that Second Floor app is one of the leading floor plan apps going out there. We love Second Floor app. Instantly, you can use your iPhone, you can get in there and you can go all the way through a house and get a floor plan within minutes instantly that you can deliver to your clients. So go to secondfloorapp.com/upmarket and you can get a free month of service to check out all Second Floor has to offer. And I know I've heard some complaints about some other floor plan companies, and I'm not hearing ever complaints about Second Floor app. So get in there, check out the best app-based floor plan company out there, secondfloorapp.com. Anderson still here, unfortunately, but we'll muddle on because he's going to be hosting. He's the 2026 host for PMRE this year. It's November 17th through 19th at the Palms in Las Vegas. Get in there, PMREconference.com. Tickets are on sale today. Get in there, try to get one of those early birds. Do it. We were talking social media sidebar, and we were talking about content. So we were talking about your YouTube channel, our podcast, and I think we're talking about how are we bringing value to people, right? And we don't just want to put stuff out to put stuff out. And I do think one of the values that we do end up bringing is actually when we bring our authentic, vulnerable selves to the shows and to the content that we're producing. And when I think people can see that we are real people who are going through all the same stuff they're going to, that is how you form an audience. That's how you form a connection. And and again, all joking aside, I mean, what is there something that actually you feel really vulnerable about your business or about your place in the industry?
No.
Or, no, there's nothing.
Move it on. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's probably a personality trait. I worry a lot about how much of a tight ship that I run with my business. I know I've lost probably clients, or I know there's people who for sure have not hired me because I run a tight ship. And what I mean by that is I have, solid contracts. Mm-hmm. I protect my work. I register it. And if people steal from me, I try to do my best to resolve things on my own. And if I'm told to go kick rocks or mm-hmm. Told to buzz off, some of them I have to hand off to an attorney to handle on my behalf. So, the vulnerable side is I wonder, is that the best choice? And, I think it's more of a long-term benefit rather than short-term. Short-term benefit, if I didn't have contracts and people walk all over me and steal my stuff, a lot of photographers look at, would go, oh yeah, that's great. You're avoiding conflict and, mm-hmm. you're not ruffling feathers. Okay, that's fine. But long term, it's an awful way to do business. Any type of business, legitimate business has contracts. They do protect themselves, and they do try to correct things when maybe their intellectual property has been infringed on, or heck, even if you create a product that can be physically stolen out of a store. I mean, things like that. So yeah, the vulnerable side is I worry sometimes, especially when work slows down during like winter, kids sitting, I'm like, oh, they're having conspiracy meetings. The Illuminati's getting together and going, how can we ruin his business? My brain gets conspiratorial, and I think the world hates me. And, and then, inevitably stuff greens back up, emails start coming in, the calls come in, and it's silly. But like, I go through that, cyclical.
Well, why do you think people hate you?
Because I know me, I've met myself, and you've said it.
Yeah. No, but are you really, deepest, darkest moment, you're sitting there thinking that people hate you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, if you want to talk about vulnerability, I
do.
You think about when, say, like, January has always been a rough year for me. January is just always slow. Stuff here in Kansas City, things are dead.
I think
so
that's true for most of us. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and like I said, it's probably a personality trait, but yeah, I just, when I don't have much to do, I think there's chatter going on behind the scenes about, Matthew Anderson is the worst to do business with. And, he doesn't let people give away his photos and stuff like, and I think, wow, have I shot myself in the foot by trying to run a business well?
Have boundaries. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Not to let people walk all over me. And, I don't know. It's just, it's the dark valleys my brain can go in certain times of year, more so than others. But, I've been doing this for over a decade now. So it's just, I have to tell myself, you've been through this before, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, and that's I can see myself in that too. I mean, there's definitely, there's a lot of moments where you're like, well, what do people really think about me?
Yeah, exactly.
And, I feel, and we both have bigger personalities, and I think, I can certainly, I've felt the love from so many people, but then at the end of the day, you're like, well, was that one joke too far? Or was I, was I a little, because I can also be a little bit, Molly's like looking at me like,
I've never seen her shake her head yes so aggressively.
I can, and I can also be a little brusque and, a little, and I don't always know, like, I think I don't always know how much space I actually take up.
Yeah.
And I think, and not only am I'm a giant, like physically, I'm a giant person. And then I think personality wise, I can also, and I bring a lot of energy. And so I just don't always know. And so I think sometimes people can react to me in ways that I wasn't expecting. And then I feel like bad about myself because I'm like, oh, I must have, they must hate me. And it could also just be, oh, they don't, like, there just wasn't room for them when I was there.
Yeah. I mean, I think any level-headed person in any type of service industry, especially if you're running your own business, all things being equal, if our products, if we create good quality product, it's a relationship-based type of business. So you could be the best photographer in the world, but if you're a jerk and you're abrasive and you're rude and and all the list goes on, you're not going to get hired. So the biggest compliment is when you do, let's face it, you can create a product and your competitor could probably create a similar, if not better product. But when you have clients who hire you again, that in itself is a huge compliment. They meant, I liked what you produced for me, but I also like working with you. And so when we do get in these dark moments, you have to reflect on that, and you have to look at the past and go, oh, wait, I do have loyal clients that hire me. It's slow right now. That's it. They're not having dark room meetings with candlelit, and 20-foot long tables going, how can we ruin his career this winter? So
right. Well, and I was talking with Oliver Ward about this, and I think we did it when he was on the show a few weeks ago. We both feel like we built our original businesses based on our charisma, right? It wasn't anything to do with like marketing or anything. It was just like, okay, we did a good job, and then we were charismatic people, and like that is what allowed the business to grow. But in a way, then you kind of live and die by that, right? And you're like, well, okay, if that's what got me here, then that's also going to be the thing that that takes me down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because either there's not enough of the charisma to go around, or people get sick of it, or or whatever, or I said the one thing that was rude, or whatever it is. So
yeah, I think every photographer, every business owner has insecurities, and if they don't say that they do, they're either lying outwardly, they know they are, or they're lying to themselves. I think we're all still, even though we're adults, we're still kids playing pretend in one way or another. So, we still are afraid of what people think of us. We hope to make people happy and satisfied with our businesses, and, but you just can't dwell on it. That's the tough part. Easier said than done, for sure.
Of course.
But yeah, trying to, not to go down a deep, dark rabbit hole,
do it.
But I think mental health too is a huge part of this. Is entrepreneurs. I heard someone say once, it might have been on Shark Tank, but entrepreneurs are the only people who will work 80 hours a week because they refuse to work 40. So there's something wrong with us. We have left the comfort of a regular 9 to 5 and decided to take on more stress, more responsibility, more of the weight on our shoulders, just for this, so we don't have to work for somebody else. And you take on that stress, you got to, not only exercise regularly to stay healthy, you got to eat well so you don't hurt yourself, but you got to stay healthy up here one way or another. And I know it's a million different answers to how to do that. There's no one size fits all, but I think definitely something to be aware of.
Well, how's your mental health?
It's good now. Yeah. I mean, it's, no, I don't mind talking about it, because when I'm in a funk, and again, full disclosure, I don't struggle personally with heavy anxiety or things like that. But I have relatives who do. And a lot of times, you can't take medication to help you out with that. But a lot of times, if we might have to physically do something to get ourselves out of that funk, whether it is exercise, reading, being around other people, just something so we're not sitting in a corner, going through dark cycles in our own mind. Wow, this podcast got really heavy all of a sudden. Wow.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, that's good. I mean, but I think that's important. But I think it really does tie in, the mental health aspect really does tie into, I think, the broader theme of, and kind of what I'm almost thinking is the broader theme of this, of Upmarket Pod, really, and certainly PMRE is our mental health, is how are we coming together? How are we forming community? How are we, being vulnerable and, forming connection with other people? I mean, that's, I think, so much of the key to our mental health. I mean, obviously there are people who can have clinical depression, and there's lots of other things that are, you can have plenty of friends and you're still going to have all these problems. So I'm not saying that's the cure all, but I do think just in the, and even just the loneliness of it, to have people to talk to, it's so good for your mental health. I mean, and that's, I mean, that's kind of the underlying theme of then why we're saying it's so important to have community, because that's really going to, not only can it save your business, but it can save you as a person, right? Because I know a lot of people in our industry have had some really, really, really dark days.
I mean, if I remember right, I think Cheyenne's presentation last year touched on a lot of this, that she was so hyper focused on the business side that it was kind of, I mean, draining her is probably putting it mildly. And she had to change something. So, and she's still knocking it out of the park, but clearly made some shifts. So she felt better. She was happier up here, things like that. So,
that was one of the big drives with Mark and I coming together 5 years ago, is like, how do we make our lives better? And I don't think I really thought of it through a mental health prism, but I do remember, I mean, that was the pitch, is like, okay, I mean, we're just exhausted. And maybe if we come together, we have enough resources to not be so exhausted all the time.
Yeah.
And, that was like step one. And then, the mental health, I think gets better from there. Like, I hope you're not going to be in a funk in November. And I hope you're going to bring the party, right?
Of course, that's literally my job. That's what, hey everyone, thanks for coming to PMRE. Hope you have fun. See you on day 2.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not having fun, but I hope you do.
I'll do a repeat of where everyone asks me these awful questions, and then I just break down crying. Everyone goes, "What is happening?"
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, but to do that, it is going to take action, which means it's time for our action items. Our action items today are sponsored by Pixel CRM. Go to pixelcrm.com, where you are going to be able to find all the stuff that you need to run that back end of your business, keep track of your clients, market to them. So many functionalities with Pixel CRM. It's going to grow your business. Check it out. pixelcrm.com. All right, Matt, I'm going to go first. Because I don't even know what this is, and you're gonna figure out that I just came up with this in the last 5 minutes. But
let the spirit move you.
Yeah, but it is on my mind, and
okay.
I would love it if all of our listeners could do a quick mental health check and just see how you're doing, and just check in with yourself and be honest. And then if there is something that is worrisome, do something about it. And that could just be go for a run, right? I'm not like, I've definitely done therapy. I advocate for therapy. It's great. It's not necessarily for everybody, but I think it kind of is for everybody. It's just everyone can't admit it. But anyway, it's not the worst idea. So I think just give yourself a little mental health check. And if you do need a mental health break, take one. And I guess it's more of to say, just make sure you're taking your mental health seriously. It's something that I've not always done. And so I think when I do prioritize mental health, I do think I feel better. So I want to make sure that, I want all of our listeners, viewers to feel better too. So do that.
Yeah, I agree. Side note, I mean, just to paint a picture, if you foresee yourself 10, 20, 30 years down the road, I don't think it's something you would look back on and go, you know what I regret is
right.
really prioritizing my mental health. No one's going to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Hit me with it, buddy.
My action item is to not to neglect the revenue opportunities of licensing your photos.
Okay.
To kind of circle back to, when things are slower, one thing I do to, supplement the income of things just slowing down is to license. And then I think, especially for real estate photographers, this is probably one area where I'm guessing a good amount kind of neglect it, and rightfully so. They're probably extremely busy, which I understand. But we are in a weird genre of photography where one photo can appeal to not just the real estate agent, but to brands, manufacturers, contractors, just by simply reaching out over Instagram or an email. Hey, I took this photo that highlights your guys' cabinets. Would you be interested in licensing them? They're XYZ. If they write back and say, yeah, how much? And it's, 100, 2, 3, 4, whatever, $100 per photo. And they say, yeah, good. We'll take 3 of them. That could be several $100s, sometimes $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 from literally doing next to nothing. Right. So my action item is go through maybe some of your recent work and look at them and say, hey, that's, we took a really stellar shot of this kitchen. I wonder if the cabinet company would be interested in licensing them. Look at that same shot and go, what about the countertop company? The floors look great. And I wonder who installed the floors, things like that.
Yeah. And so the action item there, I'm going to do an add-on action item for that is try to, when you're shooting and you think it's a cool house, figure out who made those cabinets, who made those floors, who made those countertops. It's a lot easier usually in the moment because you can ask the homeowner, you can ask the agent, or you can peek in and try to see if there's a name in the cabinet door, whatever it is, right? So because if you don't know, then there's no way that you can,
you don't know who to reach out to.
You don't know who to reach out to. So,
yeah. I mean, when you're doing your walkthrough or whatever, I do this all the time in conversation. Wow, man, this is awesome. This is designed so well. Do you guys have an interior designer do this, or did you do it yourself? Oh, no, we hired XYZ designer. Mental note. Man, who did the countertops? XYZ countertops. No, just the list goes on. So
right.
Yeah, put it in the notes app, whatever, save it for later. And Yeah, just don't neglect it, because if you do, you're missing out on a huge revenue stream for sure.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Thank you so much for doing this. I know we were trying to get you out here to do this in person. It didn't work out. It would have been really fun, obviously, but
I would have loved to.
Next year when you host. It's when you
really? Yeah. Thanks for setting that up already, Brandon. You got to stick to it. You all right? Reed said.
Yeah. And thank you, of course, once again, always to Brandon and everyone at PMRE. We appreciate all of you, and of course, all of our sponsors as well. But most importantly, we are thanking our viewers, our listeners. That is the whole reason we have this. Is the whole reason we do it. We feel the love. I know Matt feels the love, and so thank you to everyone. And we're excited to party with you all in November for sure.
Yeah. See you in November, guys.
All right. Thanks, man. Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios and is produced by Molly Peart and edited by Bethany Dietrich. Our wish for you this week is to not have to do any Friday Night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.